of 7, certain ideas from other lives and agreements that you have all made are going to continue to be worked out. You are going to continue to receive some assistance in working those out and processing the energy through each and every one of you, the members of the family, up until that time in various ways. Okay. Approximately at the age of 7 of your daughter's age, in that sense, there will be a change and a transformation in the way the energy and the agreements and the assistance is worked out or experienced by all of you. The child is simply still in what you may call a susceptible state to changes in energy, has picked up certain belief structures from the society, of course, and has learned now, is learning now through you to assimilate those beliefs in a positive way. There are still certain ideas that may manifest here and there as small diseases in that way, a processing, a purifying, a clearing out. Our suggestion would be not that you will not necessarily stop the occurrence of waking up, for at those times of your night is a very high receptive psychic activity time when some of the strongest communication can go on between yourselves and those you have chosen to function as your guides, which is what the being represents. Yes. On many different levels, in many different ways. A suggestion is that, perhaps together, if you can, while you are in your own rooms, if that is the arrangement of your house, you learn to breathe together. You set aside some time with your daughter, in that sense, and with anyone in the household, to be in your own rooms and learn to breathe together, to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the pacing of your breathing is being mirrored by all other individuals in the house, and that you are breathing as one. So you do not have to feel disconnected or compartmentalized in separate rooms, so that you all know you are in the event together as one, and so that you can become more telepathically, psychically sensitive to what each is experiencing and the reasons for why you are experiencing these things. Now, I am not allowed to go into great detail with the specific ideas that are involved in the communications, for those things will play themselves out in the lives, the physical lives that all of you are living in very blatant and obvious ways. Your daughter has the ability and has chosen, as we are allowed to perceive, the agreement to be extremely psychically sensitive in that way. And this will come into play major activity in roles after the age of 7. Between what you call the age of 7 to 10 will be a very concentrated, very highly focused time of assimilation for your daughter as we perceive her energy. In all the things that the guide has taught and all the things that the friend has taught, from the age of 7 to 10, she will have to learn how to assimilate all that knowledge in a way that can be applied in your physiological society. It may be a time of high concentration. There may seem to be some idea of conflict or polarities involved with her particular exploration at that time, but from the idea also of 10 forward to approximately 13, there will be a complete uprooting, a complete rearrangement of the foundations in her life in that way, so that she will then, from that point forward through her period of adolescence, have the opportunity to discover what it is she will define her reality to be. Now, if you allow yourself the opportunity now to learn to breathe together as one, you also will be sensitized to the changes that she will go through in such a way that will alleviate your fear that what she is going through is inherently negative, and will strengthen with your co-breathing her ability to be able to assimilate all that knowledge, all that raw, open, exposed energy and information that she will be drawing in a way that will be able to be applied physically, materially, in beneficial terminology. So our suggestion for now is to learn to breathe together. Breathe together. Set aside some times to learn to breathe together. First, you can begin by doing it in one room and allow everyone to understand the pace of the easy, deep, and relaxed breathing, and see bright blue-white light filling you and surrounding you and immersing you, and you are breathing it in. And then when you are in your separate rooms, remind, all right, breathe together now. As you drift off into sleep, breathe together. We are one. We are breathing as one. Everyone is together. No one is apart. These are the things we have agreed to do. We are wrapped in love. We are warm in the blanket of light and life. Everyone will then be able to participate in a union with the idea of the guide energy and will not feel as if anyone is being singled out or picked out or isolated in that way. So those fears, those ideas of isolation, the uncertainties and the doubts will not have to manifest as strongly. You can lay a foundation, a very loving and warm foundation, by filling your lives and your house with the breath of life, the breath of certainty, the breath in that sense of absolute trust that you are really one being breathing together. You understand?
Yes, Bashar.
Now,
Thank you very
there
much.
has been much more that we have imparted other than what you heard verbally. And some of this will come out in your dream realities and assist you in learning how to soften and balance the ideas we have discussed in terms of energy. And there has also been transmission to your child as well. But mostly, for now, to the child within you.
Okay.
We thank you.
Thank you very much,
And
Bashar.
pleasant dreams. Shedding.
Good evening, Bashar,
And to you good day, and a good New Year.
and an ecstatic New Year to you.
Well, thank you.
Double infinity for us, 88.
Double infinity.
Yes.
All right.
I don't know if
An
that
infinity of
translates.
infinities. All right.
Exactly. Well, the timing has arrived for us to speak of orcas
No,
in
all right.
Japan.
Orcas and Japan.
Yes. First of all, I want to thank you for your opening remarks and for what you had to say about full self-validation.
Yes.
That really struck a chord within me.
Oh, all right.
And self-awareness. I've been exploring my own orca energy,
As
power, and integrity.
one moment.
Yes.
By the way, for those not familiarized with what we have discussed, what you call the orca represents the polarity energy of the consciousness of the whale and dolphin life forms upon your planet, which is the other alien species upon your world. You have two, human cetacean. The orca represents, loosely put, the samurai or the sorcerer of the sea, the path of absolute conviction, no turning back. You have to be, shall we say, very clear, very clean, very pure when dealing with the orca energy, or it will collapse very strongly upon you. Continue.
Yes. I have attracted situations to myself recently so that I could really explore that. And
Yes.
I've been understanding more and more about what that is.
Well, thank you.
And I want to thank you for all your loving reflections that have enabled me to reflect to myself what I need to know. to
Oh, well,
get
you
where
know
I am.
what?
What?
You're welcome.
I know that. I love you, Bashar.
We love you as well, all of you, unconditionally. No matter what you choose to think of yourselves, we will love you anyway.
That's nice to know. We went to SeaWorld on New Year's Day
All right.
and visited the dolphins at
Yes.
the petting pool
Yes.
and also the orcas.
As
And as you may know, that since there have been the last couple of quote-unquote accidents.
yes, as we said,
Yes.
come crashing down, yes.
Exactly. I got that. Between the orcas and the trainers,
As-
they're not allowed now to swim with them or to interact with them in
As-
the water. And when we saw the first show, we were feeling very sad about the separation and the lack of trust, because it was such a beautiful expression of trust and integrity and power and gentleness all at once.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. But there is no real reason to have to be sad. For those individuals are now going to be forced to face certain things within themselves that they would not have faced before. And in that sense, the orcas have done that for them.
Yes, I have come to realize quite a bit about that.
You can rejoice in the strength and the boldness of the discovery.
I was thinking of that earlier when you were sharing with somebody else those ideas. Well, to continue, we stayed for the last show, and we went back to see the last orca show.
Yes.
And afterwards, as the stadium emptied out, there were 6 of us there, and we stood there and sent love and appreciation and as much communication and emotion as we could to the orcas.
No,
and
right.
we're receiving it back from them, as well as vocal sounds.
Yes.
And there were 3 of them in the tank, and 6 of us. And we decided we would ask them telepathically if they would come and slide out on the platform in front of us, which they did.
Yes.
And 2 of them came up first, and they turned sideways, and they pointed their noses in opposite directions and arched their backs, so they were making this perfect formation with their tails
Yes.
that we found extremely exciting.
Yes.
And then, when they slid down into the water again, the third one came up on the tank. So they all were in very close communication with us, and we with them.
Yes.
And then as we left, we walked down past the tank, and they were very close to the glass inside, or to the plexiglass. And they were pressing themselves against it and looking at us and opening their mouths right at eye level so we could see them. And we all just pressed ourselves up against the glass and were kissing the glass and crying with emotion. It was so intense.
Well, thank you.
And during the interaction, as I was feeling this sadness of the separation washing over me, I got a realization that enabled me to see that there is so much more going on.
Nice.
It was like new levels of awareness were opening up. And what